All right, hello everyone. My name is Shelly Morrill, and I'm your host for today. I would like to start by saying thank you all for tuning into our webinar. We are fortunate enough to have Michael Solomon, Tech 30 engineer, to talk about how you can create technical illustrations and 3D animations from your CAD data, along with Hamid Yassi, Business Development Manager for Tech 30. I will now hand the reins over to Hamid, who will give you a little background overview on Tech 30.
Thank you, Jelly. I appreciate it. So a quick overview of Tech 30. Our mission is to help our customers solve their most challenging engineering problems, and we do this by using the right tools for the project, the innovative software that we offer, and we also have the engineering services to complement it. And in addition to that, we also focus heavily on training and support to empower and enable our customers. So to give an overview in a little more detail of what we offer, so we have a broad range of capabilities across many verticals and industries, and the goal is to really complement your team, either provide the expertise that you don't have in-house or the capacity if you're needing more bandwidth. Our headquarters is in Mission Viejo, California. We serve the entire country. We do have a small business status, and we have 3 primary business units: PTC software, the entire suite. We have a focus on additive manufacturing, really functional, strong industrial use cases, as well as training for design for additive manufacturing. And then we have over 40 engineers in our engineering services department. So let's go in a little bit more into what types of services we can provide and where you can rely on Tech 30. Whether it's product design optimization for various areas, as well as one thing that we really pride ourselves in is using multiple CAD, CAM, and CAE solutions. Whatever CAD system it is that you work with in-house, we will work with you. We have the expertise across our division of engineering services. We are experts at PLM. That is the core of our company. We have expertise in specifically Windchill and Teamcenter, and we can help you manage multiple CAD systems within your PLM system. We're happy to provide complementary process audits with your system. If you have an existing data management system in place, we'd be happy to take a look at it and compare it to industry best practices. We provide custom training, process control, and automation. And one tool that we focus on for engineering calculations is MathCAD, and being able to convert a lot of documents and basically consolidate into one format. Program management is a big part of what we do with our engineering services. I won't go into too much detail, but there's regular communication and earned value on any project that we do undertake. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to Michael, who is going to go over Creo Illustrate, a CAD agnostic tool for technical illustrations and animations.
Thank you, Hamid, for this introduction. Hi, everyone. My name is Michael Solomon. I'm an application engineer here at Tech 30, and today I'll be talking about how to create technical illustration and 3D animation from your CAD data. The software that we'll be talking about today is Creo Illustrate. So this is our agenda for today. First, I'll be going over what Creo Illustrate is. I'll go over its capabilities. I'll talk about the benefits of using Creo Illustrate compared to using other traditional methods. And finally, I'll be doing a demo of the software. So what is Creo Illustrate? Creo Illustrate is a powerful tool that allows you to create 2D graphical data using your 3D CAD models. Then you can use this data to create instruction manuals, service manuals, or even training materials. Sometimes when you're trying to create illustration, you need to bring in multiple CAD assemblies that the engineer didn't put together in the first place. Creo Illustrate allows you to do that. You can put together top-level assemblies that were never put together in the first place. These assemblies don't even need to be the same format. Creo Illustrate is a CAD-agnostic tool, so you can bring in 3D models from anywhere. You can bring in models from SolidWorks, CATIA, STEP files, and of course, Creo native files. So what are some of the capabilities of this software? With this software, you have the power to create magnified and detailed views from different camera point of views. You can create exploded views with explode lines to illustrate how a complex part is being assembled. You can use that exploded view to automatically generate callouts and parts lists. In each figure, you can change the lighting option by adding or taking away multiple lighting sources to enhance the illumination of your illustration. You can create animation. You can create 3D animation or 2D step-by-step sequences. You can use these sequences and animation for an augmented reality, AR experience that you can give to your technician in the field. That experience can give your technician the extra confidence that they have all the tools they need to get the job done. Finally, when you're done, you can export your data in 2D or 3D. If you're exporting an animation for an AR experience, that's an example of a 3D export. And if you're exporting images or PDFs, that's an example of a 2D export. So what are some of the benefits that you'll start seeing when you start using Creo Illustrate? These right here are some statistics that we got from PTC. And they're saying that Creo Illustrate users notice 35 to 50% reduction in per illustration creation times over the traditional methods. With Creo Illustrate, you bring in the 3D models directly into the software, so you don't need to take a screenshot or ask a graphic designer to create your figures for you. Once you're done with creating your 3D model, you can go ahead and create all your technical illustration. Also, users have noticed over 50% reduction in time to update illustrations. The reason behind that is that Creo links to your 3D model. And by that, I mean every time a change happens in the model, it is automatically reflected in your illustration. All your figures are updated with that change. You don't have to keep going back and forth between the model and the dependent figures. Finally, users have noticed 30–70% improvement in end-user comprehension of these illustrations that were created using Creo Illustrate. So overall, customers have noticed increase in service and parts accuracy, acceleration in repair and maintenance time, improvement in product performance, and enhanced overall customer experience. So with that, we'll move on to our demo for today. So this is a suspension system that I'm working on here, and my goal today is to create a bunch of figures for our service manuals. So the first figure that I have here is a figure that I want to do of a cross-section of the brakes of this system right here. I want to add a note that tells our technician that check the brake thickness before you're done with your maintenance. So let's start here with the figure at the figure tab, and you notice that you have a bunch of options to edit the way the model looks. So you can change the way the model is being rendered. You have shaded with edges, you have flat shaded with edges. You have a bunch of options. You can do black and white, you can have it colored. For this example, let's just leave it as flat shaded with edges. You also have options to change the perspective or the projection of your model. You have orthographic or perspective projection. You can change the background. I have all white background right here, but you can change the color. You can add multiple colors in the background as well. And as I mentioned during the presentation, you can add lighting sources. You can add multiple lighting sources, or you can just have a single light. Next, we'll choose our size for this figure. So you have an option to choose any paper size that you have here. And for this example, we'll just use A4. You can change the orientation. I want to choose landscape. I can also add a border, which I would do that here. And then I can move my model around. You notice that this is not just a picture. This is the actual model, or a representation of the model. So you can rotate it around to get the best view that you want. You can also add captions with details or just the name of the figure. So you have a bunch of options here to just have the view that you want, and you put all the information that you want on each figure. So let's go ahead and add this section that we want to have. So we go here, click View Section, Add Boundaries, and in this case I want to add a quarter cut. You have the option to add quarter cut or just a planar cut. So let's start by defining our first cut. Let's have one about the z-axis and one about the y-axis. You can move them around. So I want to move this to right about here. I want to flip it, and I also want to flip the other one. So now I have a better view of my braking pad right here. You notice that I have a lot of noise in the background, and maybe I just want to grab the attention of the technician to look just at this braking system right here. So one thing that I can do is I can add a phantom effect where I just hide everything or make it faded, everything that I don't need. So I'll just add a phantom effect to everything except our brakes right here. And if I go back, you'll notice that now I have a clear image of what I want the technician to see. Now I want to add an annotation to tell my technician that I want you to do something here. So I added a note with a leader. I can edit the note, and I'll just type check brakes. And then I have the option to move this around to wherever I want. I also have the option to add symbols. So in this case, I want to make sure that the technician sees this. So I'm just going to add a warning sign to tell them this is important and I want them to check it. Now that I'm done here, I can just update my figure. Next figure that I have here is a figure of an exploded view of our rotor kit that we're selling. So again, I have the option to change the rendering, the lighting, but let's just change the sizing of this paper, landscape, add a border, fit to window, and let's just move this to where I want it. You see that I already started with editing the exploded view. Let me finish doing that by just moving the rest of these components to the position that I want them to be. So I'll just click on transfer, and I'll move this component to here. I'll move this component to here. Now that I'm done with my exploded view, I want to create a parts list so I can have it attached to this figure here. So when I'm selling this kit, I know which parts are going to be included in it. I can go to annotations. I'll highlight all the parts that I want. Go to annotation and add an item number. You see that Creo Illustrate automatically generated item number for each item here, and it automatically generated a parts list that I can see if I open the lower panel right here. So this is an item list that I can copy and I can paste in my Word doc, I can paste in my PDFs, and I can use it to include it within this with this figure right here. Let's move on to our last part of our demo here, which is the animation. I have started on this animation. This is an animation to show our technician how to change the braking pads for the vehicles. So I have started on this already. Let me show you what we have so far, and then I'll show you an example of how to continue adding more steps. So you notice that I have control over the motion of the part, control over the camera motion. I can move different parts around about different axes, and I can bring in tools. I can add a different effects such as fading, or I can have parts that get highlighted or get shaken before they move. So let's add another step right here. And for this step right here, all I want to do is I want to move this braking pad right here I just want to show that we're going to get rid of this braking pad. So let's add an effect by making it flash, and let's make it flash in the color red. And then let's transform it and move it to right about here, and then add another effect and make it fade away. Okay, let's add another step, and let's do the same thing to the other side, but first let's actually make this one shake, and then let's move it, and then finally let's add a fade away. So if we go back to our preview sequence, you'll see that I'm gonna just skip to the last step here. You'll see that we have that braking pad shaking or flashing, and then the next one is shaking and then moves and fade away, and it fades away. All right. Before I end my demo, I just wanted to demonstrate how you can link your 3D model to your illustration, and how if you change anything in your 3D model, that will automatically update in your illustration. So you'll see that I have a 3D model here that I have open in Creo Illustrate. I'm sorry, in Creo. This is an electric motor, and I have created an illustration for this model right here. And I just created one figure with a simple view of the model. So let's go ahead and exit from this And let's make a change to this model right here. So let's start by activating this part right here. And let's just add a feature to this surface right here. So I'm gonna sketch a simple rectangle, and then I'm gonna just extrude my sketch. You'll see I just added an extruded part right here. So I'll go back, I'll save this, I'll click OK, and I'll exit. And then if I go back to Creo Illustrate, open my eMotor illustration, I'll get a warning message here that it's telling me that I have this model linked to that assembly, or this illustration linked to the 3D model. And when it loads, I get an update summary of all the changes that have happened to this model here. So if I close it, you'll see that I have this change appearing in Creo Illustrate. So you can see the point of this and how you can have multiple figures here, and whenever you do any change in the model, you don't have to come back here and change your illustration. You basically have the ability to update your illustration right after you're done with updating your model. And that's all that I have for today. And just as a quick summary, today you saw me create a figure with a cross-section view. I created an exploded view that was used to quickly generate a parts list. And I also created an animation that we can use for an AR experience. And before I started this webinar, I have created an AR experience for this animation already. And I use a very simple process that took me about 10 minutes. We'll be sending this video to you so that you can see this AR experience and you can see what you can do using Creo Illustrate and AR. And finally, I demonstrated how you can link your model to your illustration and how if you do any changes to your model, it will automatically update in your illustration. So that's all that I have for today. Do we have any questions?
Yeah, great. So thank you, Michael. So it looks like we do have one question from one of the attendees. His question is, you mentioned that Creo Illustrate is a CAD agnostic tool. If I'm using SolidWorks, do I need to convert my files to step files before I import them?
That's a really good question. Thank you, Jelly. You don't have to convert your files to step files, your SolidWorks files to step files before you can import them into Creo Illustrate. Creo Illustrate supports, it's a CAD agnostic tool, so it supports SolidWorks, CATIA, STL, step file, and Creo file, so you can directly bring it in.
Okay, awesome. So any last questions? You guys can just write it down in the chat. All right, well, we will be posting this video to YouTube later today, so feel free to pass it along to your friends and any colleagues, and please be sure to subscribe to our channel and follow us on Twitter and LinkedIn to get information regarding any upcoming webinar dates and topics. And then if you guys could please just stick around for about 10 to 15 seconds after the webcast ends, just to fill out a short survey letting us know how we did and what you guys liked. We really appreciate all the feedback. So thank you guys so much for attending and have a great day.